Welcome, true believers, to another episode of the Flip City Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Wayne.
Hey, guys. I'm your other host, Greg.
And we are your rad retro ghosts hosts of all things 80s and 90s. We got some throwback culture, and we're going to do some deep dives, have some fun discussions today. It's going to be a blast. But first, Greg, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing great. I just came back from the Tampa Bay Comic-Con, and I had some great finds. I came back with something pretty amazing.
Some souvenirs?
Yes, this is like more than a souvenir. This is, first off, it's appropriate for the time because happy October. Here we are. The fall is here. It's October. We're knee deep in spooky season. And are you ready for this? You may not know this about Wayne, but Wayne is a fan of Frankenstein's monster.
I had no
idea.
Can you tell?
I
had no idea.
Number two, I'm a big fan of like tikis, like tiki huts and tiki bars and like all that kind of stuff. And so I stopped by a booth by a guy named Great Scott Designs.
Also, great name.
Great Scott Designs.
Great Scott
and
Designs.
He makes these wood carvings.
Ooh.
Look at this. This is going to be well worth checking out the Instagram on this. This is
That's beautiful.
A Frankenstein's monster wood. This is a wood carving of Frankenstein's monster in tiki form. I saw this and I had to have it. But Frank needs a friend. And so I also picked up, to go with him, Frankenstein's bride? No. Why would I do that when you could get Wolfman?
Ooh, Chewbacca's uncle.
He has a Chewbacca, by the way. I almost bought Chewbacca, but I wanted to stay on theme.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's great. So check him out. It's greatscottdesigns.com. He's got a killer Instagram with some cool stuff on there. He's not a sponsor. Not an endorser, didn't give me a discount, but it's definitely some art worth checking out. But man, these things are going to go. I don't think they're seasonal, buddy. I think these things are going to go up permanently somewhere in my house.
Listen, I know we were just talking before we started recording, but one of those would fit right over your shoulder.
Which shoulder?
The one that you were saying needs to have a display behind them.
This one right here?
Yeah, look at that. You could blow him a kiss, like you got smooch him while you're sitting there. Hey, Frankie, make me feel like a woman.
Oh, stop. Now I got to take him away. Now you ruined it. Now you ruined it altogether. You're ruining my joke. No, that's the mask. This is the display reserved for mask.
I understand.
Mobile Armored Strike Command.
G.I. Joe and Transformers thrown in a box.
Take those two together, and you have a killer,
Should be
awesome
called MASH.
toy line.
MASH.
MASH. But this corner right here is perfect for a flying vehicle right there. Mm. So thanks for giving me that idea.
Cool,
I appreciate it.
You should get a turtle blimp.
Yes. I saw a turtle blimp just the other day on Whatnot, and so I thought about you.
Louise.
One day a turtle blimp might show up on your doorstep.
I'm good.
You say you're good, but
I don't know.
You would totally accept a turtle blimp in your mailbox.
I might accept it, but the re-release of the Technodrome is looking very nice. May have been looking up measurements because it would fit nicely on the floor next to my bookshelf.
Are they doing is it the Playmates Technodrome, like the actual a remake of that?
Yeah, Playmates is just releasing everything that's hard to find now. So, we went on a little trip, and of course I came back with the traditional Pennsylvania souvenir of a movie star's Donatello.
You go to Amish country.
Went all the way to Lancaster and came back with Donatello. Corey Feldman, if you will. So, yeah.
You get like a nice, you go there for a nice Amish tour. You see how butter is made. Movie star Ninja Turtle.
Run into the Walmart. Check out the fig section. Yep, that's about it. That's about it.
I love it. So, all right. So here we are. We're in full blown spooky season. Last episode we were talking about our must watch Halloween, specials and movies and all that kind of stuff. And so what we want to do today is we're just going to go full blown flashback into Halloween, right? And so when we were kids and trick or treating was the norm, and when we would go out there in costumes. So I got to ask you a question. So this is the first flashback for me. You grew up in New York,
Yep.
right? I spent my early years, my first 10 years in New Jersey, up north on Halloween. Which costume were you wearing that you had to cover up with a winter jacket?
Ooh.
What was that? Because what was that one Halloween? Because there's at least that one Halloween where it's like you're really proud of that costume and you got to cover it up with a winter jacket.
So I don't think I ever had an issue where I would risk sickness or rock a hoodie underneath the costume more than winter coat, but I don't know. I know there was one where I had to wear a rain jacket over. I think I was like Duke from G.I. Joe, and I had to wear a rain jacket, which totally killed the vibe because my mom painted this sick like scar on my head. I was carrying around like a Rambo-esque knife and a Uzi, and then I had to wear this like dopey, yellow raincoat. So
it could be like it could be a tactical raincoat.
Yeah, sure, tactical my butt.
Don't they have isn't there a G.I. Joe that wears a raincoat?
Yeah, I think it's the barbecue guy.
Slicker. He'd be
Slicker.
He'd be Slicker. He'd be Galoshes.
He went trick or treating with his Halloween themed G.I. Joe Snicker.
All right, so I didn't have the luxury of refusing a jacket. I grew up in a Hispanic household. I had a Hispanic mother.
I thought they stopped caring by the time you were growing up. That's what you keep saying.
Yeah, but for some reason in the 80s, like pneumonia was the big concern.
True.
It was one of those things where did they care if I was like left unsupervised and probably not. Did they care that I would get a pneumonia? That's all I heard. I was like, nope, you're going to catch a pneumonia. You can't walk around barefoot. You can't walk outside without a jacket on. And so specifically this one Halloween, I remember having a Spider-Man costume. It was a full-blown Ben Cooper Spider-Man, and I could have passed. Here's the thing. I was well ahead of my time. I could have passed for Into the Spider-Verse Peter Parker, who's wearing his jacket with the Spider-Man costume underneath.
Wayne Cordova.
I was a trendsetter, but back then I was kicking and screaming because I wanted to be Spider-Man, and I was Spider-Man with a winter jacket on.
Well,
and then by the end of the night, I was holding my mask to my face like this. And I was going trick or treat, and then holding my jacket out so people could see that I was Spider-Man. It was embarrassing, but look at me.
I mean, it would have been
no pneumonia.
You could have pivoted and gone with like the Kenner mindset, and you could be, I'm Arctic Frost Spider-Man.
Arctic Frost Spider-Man with the Hush Puppies jacket, and
That's unprofessional.
It was so yeah, but Halloween costumes, man, like that was the thing. Like it was like that was the thing that I looked forward to. When did you start planning your Halloween costume when you were a kid?
I think it was
or was it like whatever was on sale?
No, it was usually November 1st. For the next year, we'd start planning.
For the next year?
Yeah, totally. It's like, I mean, it's either that or like summertime. It usually hits where you start thinking about it. It was. We were pretty good with like what we wanted to be for Halloween. Like there was a couple of ones that were suspect. Like my mom I was Zorro for Halloween, I think, in the first grade, and I had no memory of anything Zorro. She was like, "This is gonna be a great idea. You could be Zorro," and I'm like, "Who the hell is Zorro?"
That means we got some black fabric.
Yeah, it was like, "Oh, cool! You got a sweatsuit? Here you go. Let me just get you this fancy hat. You can't even get the cool sword. I gotta get this dopey one with the cup on the end of it. What the heck?"
So like, I remember when Kmart would open up the display for Halloween, and this wasn't like back in the day. Back in the day, like now, Halloween decorations are out in July. You know what I mean? You could go to the store and start buying Halloween stuff.
Yeah.
Super early. Back then, it was very like it was after Labor Day. School was in session. Then the Halloween stuff would start kind of popping up, and I remember the rows of Halloween costumes because they all would come in a box. And they all had the rubber band mask and all. And then you just start like picking out, okay, like what am I going to be? Am I going to be Fonzie? And the way that you would know that it was Fonzie was because it would say Fonzie on the front of the of the smock. Am I going to be Darth Vader? Because you would know it was Darth Vader because it said Darth Vader.
Just in case you weren't sure.
Oh man, I love those Ben Cooper costumes. But like I would go through and like, okay, I got to pick out what it was, and it, like one year it'd be Superman, one year it'd be Batman. I was very into like the superheroes for those things, and like that would be the dream for me. And then when I hit 7, I got these babies. I got these glasses. And glasses, if you are a glasses kid from the 80s, you know right now the dread that is coming, because if you needed glasses to see, you couldn't wear the mask on front of your face, because then you'd constantly be having to switch because you'd have to go back and forth. And me as a kid, I was blind. I could not see a thing without my glasses. I was like Ralphie from A Christmas Story.
Shoot your eye out, wait.
And so going back and forth. And so then I hit the age where my mom was really good with like the face paint.
Cool.
And so she would do the face paint. But then by the end of the night, I'd be sweating and the makeup would be running down my face and my glasses would be smearing everything about it. So imagine like a zombie with glasses.
This guy's looking,
what I was.
Looking like Sting after he wrestled Triple H.
With glasses.
That's the roughest version of Sting ever is that match. Looks like he fell out of a dumpster.
Oh, I know.
Poor Steve Borden.
Steve Borden. Listen, he still got it. He's retired, but he still has it. He's still Sting.
That return was fraudulent.
Oh, but I gotta tell you, I think I wasn't Sting for Halloween, but I was like, I would often paint my face up like Sting because I had the flat top when I was in middle school.
Aim for the flat top.
So yeah, so I mean the costumes, man. That was like the. Oh. Did you have a favorite? Like, what was your like?
I mean, I've mentioned it previously. Like, I was the Karate Kid twice, 2 years in a row. I think I've been a Ghostbuster at least 7 or 8 times because in adulthood now I'm a Ghostbuster every year. But
wait, were you a multi-costume kid?
No. I wasn't running that scam, but I was G.I. Joe, Duke. I think I was 89 Batman. What else? Oh, I was a zombie hockey player once. That was pretty cool. My mom like painted my face up and I wore my hockey equipment. And I had like an old jersey. I put like a couple of rips in, so that was pretty cool. And then
I think you were secretly being prevented like to get pneumonia. I think it was like, we got to put this hockey jersey on him, otherwise he's going to catch pneumonia. And then
yeah, I mean the one year I went as Stone Cold Steve Austin. This was getting probably like early high school, late middle school, but like I couldn't find a Stone Cold mask, so I bought that Scrub Goldberg. I bought his mask, and then I just wore jorts and Stone Cold t-shirt. And I walked around just stunning my buddy the whole time. It was great.
That's wore a Goldberg mask.
Come on, nobody can tell. Were they going to be like, "Oh, that goatee's a little too yellow there, you little guy"?
Did you have little cans of beer with you when you walked around?
No Greg Weisers. It was okay.
I think for me it was like, I mean, it was always those superheroes and stuff, and then I did run the scam 1 year of multiple costumes, and I tried that, and I think it was like once it was like my 3rd round around the neighborhood, I was starting to get like found out. I was like, you've been here before. You were a doctor, and now you're a cowboy.
And then you get home and you like slam the door. You're like, these glasses are ruining it for me.
They could spot me a mile away.
Clark Kent is baloney.
Were you like a good kid? Like when you were trick or treating, did you walk the straight and narrow, no mischief?
Depends on your definition. As we got older, in middle school and stuff, and like we were going out by ourselves, so. There was, some shaving cream and silly string, and you had that kid with the flower sock. You'd always have that one kid that was running around with the flower sock, and
who's walking around with a flower sock?
Like everybody. Like that's how. Do you know how you counter the flower sock?
No.
You smacked the crap out of somebody with your candy suit, your candy pillowcase.
Candy.
Because that's
Greg, what kind of neighborhood are you living in? This is like, I'm going to put some batteries in here.
no batteries, pennies, Wayne, pennies.
Sack of doorknobs.
You always had like that one jerk kid, like, and worse than the jerk, but probably like the neighborhood like tough guy, if you will. But yeah, you get cracked in the head with a pillowcase full of Snickers and Kit Kats. You think twice about coming around.
I always rocked with a group of kids.
Yeah.
So it was like, for me, it was always, I had a group with me. We were good because we were candy focused. It was like I was like Garfield in Garfield's Halloween Adventure. I was like candy, 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 and I was just so focused on it because that stash. Tell me about this. That stash of candy was like your fuel for the rest of that fall. You had to hold on to that Halloween candy till you started getting Christmas candy. So
yeah, that's true.
For me, I had that bag, and I depended on that bag for me to be able to dive into it next to my bed in my bedroom. Just here's a handful, stick it in my bag to go to school with, and that was really important to me to kind of build up. I was like stocking for the winter.
Would you like weed out and like sort through and get rid of like the loser candy and stuff?
Oh yeah. First off, right off the bat, not when I got home, as I was walking on the way. Like literally, whatever was thrown into my bag, I was immediately judging that house as soon as we walked away.
Oh yeah, like
I was opening up that bag and I go, "What are these orange candies?"
like the house that gives
These
you like
orange.
a damn popcorn ball. Like, what the hell are you doing with this here? I'm gonna throw this back at your
First
kid.
off, who's handing out fruit and popcorn?
Oh no,
That's
like a popcorn ball. Like it's sealed
yeah.
and stuff. But yeah, like I don't know. Fruit snacks, yes.
No popcorn ball. And also for me, no fruit, like no candy. I don't want no candy apple coming from some house I don't know.
Yeah, there could be
Even
razor
then,
blades in there. That's what they told us in the 80s.
Oh man, and that's the funny thing is like now there's nothing in the news about stuff being put in candy, and forever, always somebody was like, "Oh, make sure you check the candy.
Yeah.
Make sure you check the
Pretty
make sure there's
sure
no razor blades."
I saw growing up. I saw something on News 12, Long Island. They were like, "Child finds chainsaw in Snickers."
It was like angel dust in your Tootsie Rolls,
Always,
and I'm
right?
like,
I mean, Tootsie Rolls are trash candy, anyways. You could throw that crap out there.
Tootsie Rolls are the packing peanuts of candy. Like they just
Could be used
they
as
just
packing
fill
peanuts.
up that bag. All right, what were your favorite candies? What was like your?
Oh my gosh, there's like
Was there?
it's
Were there candies that they don't even make anymore that you were like all about?
no. I think most of the top candy is kind of like stayed strong and like held around. You know, and I'm not partial because I just went to the Hershey's experience, but like, you know, Reese's peanut butter cups, king of candy. Kit Kat, right up there, king of candy. Hershey's dark chocolate is my favorite. And then I do enjoy a Snickers. I love Snickers and Milky Way too. And I think those are but I used to love when somebody be like, all right, here you go. Here's some Doritos. And they give you like a little bag of Doritos. I'm like, oh, sweet.
It was usually some guy who opened the door and was, oh man, that's today.
Oh, what do I got here? I got this.
It's like-
I got these Utz chips I got to give out to my kids for school. Here you go. You want some sour cream and onion? I'm like, absolutely.
I got some pudding snacks.
Yeah. No pudding snacks.
I would weed out and sort my candy also. So like the chocolate was I kept that like in a different stash than like the candy. And so if I was getting some Twizzlers, if I was getting some Skittles, if I was getting on a rare occasion a Mike and Ike or something like that, or a Jujube, those things had to live in a separate bag than the chocolate, because the chocolate, you know, that stuff melts pretty quick. So you kind of had to like get through that. I wasn't a fan of when you opened up that Reese's and then you always have that like that patch at the top of the Reese that sticks to the wrapper.
Whoa. You call it a Reese?
Reese.
Reese's?
No, it's a Reese's. Hold on. First off,
No, don't even start with
it's a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Oh gosh.
So I'm going to clarify that.
End of friendship.
It's a Reese's peanut butter cup.
I didn't know you were a Reese's guy. Nope.
The singular of a Reese's is a Reese.
Yeah, go read the back of the cereal box, Wade. It's a Reese's. Okay.
I want a Reese's peanut butter cup, but this is a Reese.
No, it's a Reese's peanut butter cup.
But what's the short form of that?
There's no peanut butter cup made by Reese's.
That's a lot of words. That's a lot of words said all at once for something that you want so badly.
It's called delicious. We're just gonna say that. Okay.
It's called delicious, Greg. But anyway, I was just I wasn't a fan of like the melty chocolate. So like we had to separate that stuff and keep it straight.
You had food rules. Who would have thought?
But you gotta keep them separate. Gotta keep them separated. But I will tell you this: the houses that were the heroes of the neighborhood
full size.
Were not the fun size house. They were the full size bar house. Those were the houses that got my love and respect.
Something that we pride ourselves on being a full size house now. You know.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, you gotta kids still. You give them a full size candy bar and they're like, holy crap! They got full size candy bars.
Because in 2024, those full size candy bars cost $12. Like you're like this is an investment you're making in your neighborhood, Greg. Yeah. This is not just some throwaway thing. You give a full size bar, you show that you care.
Yeah.
You are highly revered in your neighborhood.
Sure.
That right there, that's the Gosselin house.
Bum, 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 bum. But honorable mention though, if you're gonna. Because I mentioned loser candy. Watch the Gravity Falls episode Summerween. Amazing. It's like they trick or treat during the summer. It was their way of doing a Halloween episode when these kids are on summer break, and there is a monster that gets made out of all the loser candy, like all like the licorice and all the crap that people just like get out of here. Like that stuff.
Can we talk about that real quick? We keep things positive here, but there is some serious loser candy out there. And I think in the 80s and trailing into the 90s, I think loser candy was at a rise.
Yeah.
And I think somewhere along the way we kind of whittled it down because I don't see any of that nowadays. You don't see like those swirly candies.
Yeah, those Palmer chocolate coins with like the damn whatever holiday is. You're like, oh, we're gonna put out these same things for Easter, but let's throw a pumpkin on it instead. Like nobody wants this junk. It tastes like a pile of dirt.
I love the when you'd get the person who would do the strawberry candy. The ones that like when you become a grandparent, they automatically give you those candies on the dish.
Ugh.
Or like, I got one time the gum. Remember like the gumballs? It was like the and like you get them from the vending machine, right? Yeah. You put them in there and you turn the crank. Somebody was actually handing those out.
Yeah, here's that's
no wrapper.
No, that's the epitome of in Wedding Singer where she's like, hold on, let me give you a meatball. Like she puts just a meatball in his hand with her hand. It's the same thing.
I want to watch you enjoy it.
Yeah, it's the same. Here's the gumballs for you. Oh, thanks, Joan.
Thanks, Joan. Who's Joan?
The old lady that's handing out gumballs with her hands. That's who she is.
Did you do like haunted houses and mazes and stuff like that when you were a kid?
No, not really. We did like
you didn't go to like any like haunted houses and stuff?
No. Yeah, we did Correct. Like we would go like pumpkin picking, and that was like the big hoorah. And then there was a couple of times where we carved them, but I know we painted pumpkins a couple of times, but like nothing crazy.
So like one of my favorite things to do when I was a kid in New Jersey, because there's a difference in trick or treating in Miami, by the way. I'll tell you about that. But when I was a kid in New Jersey, my school, PS number 9, they would put on a Halloween party, right?
Yep.
For the whole elementary school.
Yep.
And so we would go to this Halloween party, and it wasn't like it wasn't a haunted house, but they would do like the touch and feel kind of thing. So it's like put your hand in this box and feel the witch's eyeballs, right? And it was always like like gooey meatballs and stuff like that,
spaghetti brains and all that goodness.
Reaching there for the brains and so like that was the cool thing. And then they would do literally the game that is probably outlawed in the 2020s, because you don't want another pandemic breaking out, is bobbing for apples.
Nope. Regurgitation right there. Nope. Even as a kid, retro. I saw that. I'm like, I'm out. I'll see you later. No desire.
Like, if I wasn't first, I'm not doing it.
No, can you clean? Can you clean those apples before I like? I don't really want one that Tommy took a bite out of. Okay.
See these things, like they're literally little teeth bite marks and stuff in there because there's a failed attempt at getting an apple.
Ugh.
And then come on up, kid.
Also,
you're
can I just say, not a great reward for infectious disease. But like, oh, you get an apple, great.
Let's bring these elementary school kids in. We're gonna waterboard them, and then
That's why our immune systems are so. You were thinking that bottle of Flintstone vitamins, but I guess bobbing for apples really secured that.
Hey man, I was safe. I had a whole bottle in me. No infectious disease here, my friend.
But were you lucky enough? And I'm not trying to age shame you, but when you went trick or treating, did you ever get one of those fancy McDonald's coupons?
Yes.
So please hold.
Yes.
Please hold. I'm just gonna wheel slightly this way because I didn't plan
Oh
accordingly.
my goodness, he's going. Where are you going? Greg has left.
Back to the
He's
future.
left the podcast. Yes.
My sister Christina gave this to me for, I think, Christmas. And it is a fresh book of free treats from McDonald's. But they were only valid.
What's the year on that?
Only valid from November 1st through December 31st, 1985.
1985?
Yeah.
1985 is prime McDonald's Halloween coupon. I bet you can take that there and they would accept it.
I don't think
bet you could.
a lot of this stuff isn't even around. I mean, there's the McDonald Land cookies in here. Can't get one of those.
Yes.
Fruit pie, maybe. Free cone, maybe. Sunday sampler. Don't know if that's a thing anymore.
Let me just tell you that what you have in your hand right there is as good as any money that you have in your pocket, because that got you some amazing, amazing goodies from McDonald's.
I remember
as
getting,
a kid.
Oh, it's like gold. I remember getting
kid.
one that was like free Happy Meal. Like, are you nuts? I mean, the Happy Meal was valued back then cheaper than the candy bar that I'm handing out now. But like,
the world we live in now, Greg, is that if I wanted to pull into a McDonald's and get something to eat right now, I can. Like that's the thing I take for granted all the days of my life now. In 1985, I was 9 years old. And do you think this kid could just snap his fingers and go to McDonald's and all that? No.
I don't know.
Going to McDonald's happened on a Sunday.
Special, yeah.
If I was good at church, right before I went to go visit Grandma and Grandpa, and even back then, it was like, no, man, this is like special. This is like what you are doing right now. Is the stuff that kids only dream of.
Treasure this for the rest of your life.
Treasure this. And now, if 2024 Wayne could go back and talk to 1985 Wayne and say, I can go to McDonald's anytime I want, that kid would go, are you rich and famous?
You sure he would be like, you shut your mouth, you're lying to me.
Get out of here. Don't lie to me.
Did you ever get one of those?
Look at you. You're fat and bald.
Jeez. Sounds like
he was a scamp, that little Wayne.
Younger Wayne was a bully. He's like, let me slap you with a pixie stick or something.
Get out of here, bald guy.
Did you ever get one of the I
just hit the thing again.
We are 0 days 0 days accident free on the Flip City podcast. This is how I'm going to start gauging this. You ever get one of the coupons that was like $1 off a purchase at Toys R Us?
No,
that was cool.
I never got the Toys R Us
because that was like
I knew
legit.
They existed.
That was an excuse. We were like, yep, Mom, we could go to Toys R Us because I got $1 off.
I got
$1. Let's go take care of this.
$1 in the 80s though, man. That was like,
well, I mean, you got to figure
$10 today.
Yeah, you get a Hasbro for like WWF Hasbro for like $3.99. You could probably walk out of there.
You got a third of G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe the other third at another point.
Dude, no, see, but I love that, and the extra add-ons to the trick or treating, that was cool. The roll of pennies, not so much. Little bag of pennies.
I don't know. I was kind of stoked anytime to get change like that because I had one of those big water jugs in my room, and I would just, if somebody gave us a roll of pennies, I would just drop that thing right in there and watch it explode. So cool.
But no, man, like that was it. You can't beat those. You can't beat those coupons. You can't beat a good McDonald Land. Now I want some McDonald Land cookies.
Oh damn! Yeah, no, we talk about these. But I have a McDonald's little chat with my buddy Ron and my buddy Tim, and
you have a specific McDonald's chat.
Yeah, because
with your friends.
Other people in our group chat wouldn't appreciate just us ranting about snacks from McDonald's. So we have a.
Can you please tell me? Please tell me it's titled McDonald Land.
I don't know, but some reason it's on Instagram, and for some reason,
Fry Guys.
we can't have like a hamburger background, so we have a piece of pizza, which makes no sense because I don't have the McPizza. But
pizza. Put some fries on that.
But
it'll be fine.
I don't know. What was your favorite costume of all time?
As my kid, like as a kid, my favorite costume of all time, it had to have either been that Spider-Man, because I remember being really upset of having to cover it with a jacket. But then I was also Dracula one year, and this was
I think I was a vampire.
Wayne, this was
too. Sorry.
But see, like for Wayne, this was pre-glasses, right? So no smearing of the makeup and all that. I had the teeth, and I had the widow's peak drawn on the top of my head. My mom did the makeup for it. Blood coming down, the face.
Glorious.
All of that. And the outfit. Okay, so like the outfit was probably like my Sunday outfit. Like it was probably like my dress pants and my white dress shirt.
Vampires always dress like they're going to church. What are you talking about?
But then I had the cape though, and that cape was so legit. It was so great. My mom made the cape. Okay, It wasn't just like a store-bought cape.
Cool.
This was my mom made this cape, and she still does this stuff to this day. She still makes my daughter's costumes and all that, and just does an incredible job of it.
Shout out to Mama Cordova.
Shout out to Mama. Yo te quiero, mommy. But anyway, it was just one of those things where like that Dracula was like full blown. Like they could have hired me for a movie. I would have accepted it too. I would have been in the movie. But what was yours? Was yours the?
I really enjoyed being the Karate Kid because as a kid that might be my favorite.
Part 1, Part 2.
Yeah, I feel like I can't say Ghostbuster because like literally the last 3 years as an adult I've been a Ghostbuster, and I was Pete Venkman like 3 times as a kid. I don't know if the math adds up, though. I'd have to figure this out. But
you had a lot of Halloweens in your life.
Yeah, seriously, dude. But I did enjoy it. This was not.
Your parents probably were like, "Yeah, today's Halloween. Put this on."
Yeah, go away, please, go over there. Go watch Goonies again for 6 hours.
Walk around the neighborhood, knock on doors.
But I think one of my favorite costumes, though, that we've done collectively was we went to Mickey's Not So Scary back in. I think it was 2017, and Kim.
So this is as a family now.
Yeah, so me, Kim, and Rocco went as I was Grunkle Stan from Gravity Falls, and Kim was Mabel, and Rocco was Dipper, and I made fake money because in the show Grunkle Stan he only pays for things with Stan bucks, which is just like hand drawn money, and I was handing it out to cast members, and I had his little fez hat on, and it was hilarious, and like. Every time we went into like a place, then it helps that it was in Disney, because if we walked around the neighborhood in New York like this, everybody would be like, what are these guys dressed up as? They look like a bunch of weirdos. Like every place we went into, they were like, oh, it's the Pines family. So it was great, and that was just so much fun. But trick or treating in Disney alone is just great experience. So I feel like that amped it up a little bit.
Okay, so like my favorite costume as an adult. Is we do these family costumes every year. So like every year it's a big deal. My daughter Emily, she has CP, so she has a wheelchair. And so I do my best to incorporate the wheelchair in the design. And so there was that one Halloween that we turned her wheelchair into the Ecto one.
Beautiful.
And we were the Ghostbusters.
Yep.
I mean, like we were legit. And so it wasn't just the fact that we were Ghostbusters, because that was the cool thing too. My costume entailed this. My costume entailed a blue and red trucker hat that matched Dustin's.
Oh, I know.
From Stranger Things. So I sported that. Emily had this cool stuff in her hair, so it looked like slime was covering like her hair. So it was pretty cool. But then the other thing was this, because it's 2024, it wasn't just like a traditional trunk or treating thing. We were doing, or what was it, 2019, 2017, something like that. Anyway, we were doing a trunk or treat.
Yes.
And at our trunk, our booth, we had a life-sized Vigo, the scourge of Carpathia, the sorrow of Moldavia. You are like the buzzing of flies to him. And so we had this Vigo. I still have this Vigo.
How come
Vigo might have to show up next week?
How come that's not your backdrop? You got this Vigo like just chilling?
I do. He's just chilling in the garage, and so I may have to pull him out, and that might be my backdrop next week as we wrap up our spooky season.
Just make sure you start
discussion.
like an hour before we record so we can be on time.
And listen to me. First off,
says the guy who's always late with coffee.
I was on time. I just also happened to destroy the entire top half of my display.
It's not your fault, man. It's not your fault. I told you the reason. Nobody puts two Vaders on display except for you, and obviously the universe was like, too many Vaders, Wayne.
Let me just tell you something. This was one of those instances where I was getting set up, and I actually wished that we were recording because the visual...
Yeah, it would have been amazing.
About 20 wrestling figures falling to the ground. and literally the look of defeat on I could see myself. I had an out of body experience where I left my body, looked at myself, and saw literally the distress on my face when I'm holding my hands out looking at these guys on the floor.
It would have been as loud as when I decided to like move my chair obnoxiously, and then you were like, "What are you doing, making so much noise, Greg?"
You know what I did though? The funny thing is, all these guys are coming down. I caught one item. You know what item that was? The gobbledygooker's egg.
Ugh. Even worse. The one item that needs to be cracked, he catches.
I caught the gobbledygooker's egg.
Anyway, when it happened, did you use my approved curse word of fuddruckers? Like, did you say?
Melon farmer. No, I said no words because I had no words. Literally, I was just.
Silence.
I took a deep breath.
Oh my goodness.
I had a job to do. I had to get set up, and we did it. Back to Halloween, man. Okay, back to Halloween. Did you have a what was your actual Halloween ritual? Was it like you'd get home from school and immediately go out? Were you watching something on TV? Did you have a set like this is what Greg does on Halloween?
Usually we would start as soon as the school bus rolled out, because once I hit like age where I was able to go out by myself, it was kind of like we would see my parents in the neighborhood walking around with my sisters and stuff more than, so we would me and my friends, we would assemble like the Avengers and we would just head out on a mission. And the goal was to, our neighborhood in where we grew up was like a horseshoe. And then there was a bunch of like off roads off of that. So like our goal was to complete the horseshoe of our actual block first, because we had to be back by the time I think my mom was finished trick-or-treating with my sisters. So like the goal was to get as much candy as possible. So candy, there was no cell phones or anything. So I remember a couple times like my mom driving around and be like, "Where the hell are these kids? What are they? What are you doing all the way down by Jesse Way?" And I was like, "There's some good candy over there."
I was all about when I was in New Jersey, I had to go out there was no going out with friends. It was with the family.
Of course.
And then when I lived in Miami, that was a whole different story because I was a little bit older. I was 10. And then now when you hit 10, it was one of those things where everybody kind of started walking and converging at the same time.
Yep.
So it was like everybody kind of met in the street and then headed off to go knocking on doors, begging for candy.
Ooh.
And the funny thing is that if you know, so in a lot of neighborhoods in Miami, there's no sidewalks. It's like everybody's just kind of walking on the street. And so there's more like cars are creeping down the road. Other kids are walking this way. And then there was more opportunity for people to come like jumping out of like bushes and behind fences and all that, like to scare the little kids and to do all that. So it literally felt like okay, like we got to make it through this unscathed. We got to get as much candy as we can and not be attacked by zombies or Freddy Krueger. There's a lot of Freddy. Did you get a lot of that, when you were a kid, or maybe that was just me?
No, it's because you were older.
There was a lot of
yeah,
because I was older. There's a lot of Freddy Krueger when I was a kid.
No, we had a lot of ghost faces running around.
For you, that's right. It'd be Ghostface.
I mean, same.
Not a lot of Jasons. There was
same director,
a handful of Jasons. All right. Well, listen.
So, like,
I
was going to ask you another question.
Yeah, ask me.
Oh, so do you have any other traditions, like when you would be done, like wrapping up? Like for us, it was always after trick or treating. It was no matter what day it was, even though Friday was usually pizza day. We had pizza night. Pizza night was Halloween.
Ooh,
so we would order.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, and we still do that. We do that with our kids now. Like, it's like, all right, you know what? We're gonna get a couple of pies. If you want your friends to come over, we'll have pizza. So it's cool. It's a good like capping of that. And my daughter likes to finish up early so that because she likes to also hand out candy. So which is pretty cool.
Oh, so like I just did it again. Okay. So,
we're back to 0 days accident free.
Do you have it? Did anybody have their bingo card yet? We got to have the bingo card because we have a retro regurgitation and we've already been kicking.
I'll talk to the designer.
Greg is we just need Greg to say one more thing and then we'll have a almost complete bingo.
What do I have to say?
I don't have to tell you. You're just gonna have to say it. Well, it's time.
No, you're not getting it.
See. Okay, there you go. So for us, I didn't have a traditional meal. I think my traditional dinner would be a handful of Twixes and Twizzlers.
Oh,
so I think that would be like my dinner.
Okay,
remember, I was last to 5, bro. So no rules, bro. And so that would be my thing. But for me, again, as the kid who kind of like I had the TV in my bedroom and all that kind of stuff, I would wind down my night with Creature Feature.
Ooh.
And Creature Feature would always do like a special like Halloween showing. So it wasn't just like a weekend thing but on Halloween night, you'd get whatever TV edited version of Nightmare on Elm Street, Psycho, Friday the 13th, like those kind of things. But, it was kind of funny because growing up in those times, certain channels, like, because you had like 2 UHF channels. Those were the channels that, like, after the big 3 networks, the big 4 networks, those were the other channels that would, really kind of work. And those mainly showed movies that were edited for TV. And you always had like the one channel that edited like everything out of a horror movie. And so you'd have like the slasher come and they'd do the jump scare where he'd come out like this and then cut and edit to the next scene. And then you always had the UHF channel that like went too far. And as a kid, you're like, why did I have to see the knife go in? Why did I have to see it? And so that would be the, the Creature Feature. You'd have to watch that. But that would be the big thing for me. But the thing I loved about Halloween then, and it's like, I love Halloween now. I love like that whole thing. But what I loved about it, like back then, was like it was the convergence of the neighborhood. It was like everybody like coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
And like you spot that person's costume, you'd spot that person's costume, and then like you kind of like you'd start the night accumulating all your friends, and then you'd end the night with them kind of like trickling away, and it'd be like, okay, you're gone, and you're gone, and you're gone, until you get back to your house with your stash. And it was almost like Christmas all over again when you just kind of start digging through that bag to see what you got.
Cool. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, man. So any final thought on Halloween, Greg, on your Halloween growing up? Let me ask you this. Let me get a little sappy with you. Halloween as a kid is one thing. Halloween as a parent, how is that for you now?
Oh, super fun. I enjoy Halloween in all forms. Halloween as a kid was great for running around being crazy, and Halloween as a parent is kind of the same thing. Like, I'm enjoying trick or treating with the kids. I'm enjoying watching my son go and be a Goonie and go adventures. And last year I think was the first year where you let him go out with just his friends. So like it was it's cool. And they were like, really, we can go? And it was like total like, you get that freedom to run around. And I'm not sure how much candy is consumed while they're actually trick-or-treating, because I feel like they try to like just, we're going to eat as many candy bars as we can before we got to go home, which is because I would have done the same thing.
Rocco's saying during that?
No rules, bro.
Rocco's saying, no rules, bro. Get your No Rules Bro shirt right now on the Flip City Shop Zone.
I didn't expect you to say that. That's usually my joke.
The thing that I like best about besides like planning the costume, because planning the costume is a big deal for me. The thing that I like best about being a parent on Halloween, I'm gonna just be outright and I'm gonna tell you this: it's the dad tax. I love the dad tax. Being able to go right inside that bag and saying, "I brought you into this world."
Oh yeah, we run that scam, yeah.
But man, listen, we're not done, because next episode we're coming back with our number 3 in the trio of terror, and we're going to be talking about we're going to be doing a draft, and a draft episode is going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to tell you what the rules are of this draft episode, Greg, so that you can start thinking about it right now. Okay,
sounds good.
This is the final part of our Halloween specials.
Okay,
this draft is simple. There is a village, a town, there is a city that needs to be destroyed. And Greg, you are recruiting 4 monsters to get the job done for you. It's the monster draft on the Flip City podcast.
So like instead of the monster mash, we're doing the monster draft?
It's the monster draft.
I'm going to choose,
the monster draft.
Based on the amount of damage that Vader did in your room today, I'm going to choose Vader number 1.
You got to choose 2 Vaders. WCW Vader and WWF Vader. Either way.
Good times, good times.
It's Vader time, baby. Well, happy Halloween, Greg.
You too.
Where can the kids find you online?
You can follow me at Greg Goslin on the gram, and give us a follow at Flip City Ghostbusters on the gram as well.
Send us an email. What was your Halloween costume? What did you wear? What were you putting on? What was Halloween like for you? Drop us an email or a voice memo and send it over to flipcityghostbusters@gmail.com. On all socials, we are the Flip City Ghostbusters. Please like, subscribe, give us a 5-star review. That's how you want to treat us. You want to give us a treat? Give us a 5-star review. That's how people find us. And you can find the podcast on all podcast platforms. Go to flipcityghostbusters.com and you'll get there really easy. The Flip City Podcast is a Radio Wayne media production. Also, I want to say a thanks to our ghost with the most, the editor, the Phantom, Steven Orr. Steven!
I gotta say 3 times, but that Steve.
He shows up. Until next time. See you on the other side, Greg.
Party on, Wayne.